What is going on, everyone? The NFL trade deadline is tomorrow, and according to John Hickman from Locked On Texans, per source, the Texans are 100% looking to upgrade the interior of the offensive line at the trade deadline, so we might see some news in the next 24 hours. But ladies and gentlemen, a move has to be made. It is clear that this Houston Texan offensive line is a disaster. They cannot protect C.J. Stroud to save their lives. He is the second most sacked quarterback in the NFL. He's been dropped 30 times. Absolutely disgusting. I've seen this with David Carr. I've seen this with Deshaun Watson. The Houston Texans need to make a move. We're going to look at who could the Houston Texans potentially target. My name is Ruben Calvillo. This is the 713 Houston Sportcast, where I drop daily Houston Texans content. This episode was brought to you and powered by BetUS. They are giving you guys a 150% bonus on your first deposit up to $2,000. On your second and third, it's 125% bonus with promo code YouTube150. Quick 24-hour payouts, 24-hour customer service. BetUS, where the game begins. Now, you can argue that the Houston Texans should be looking at trading for two guards, the right and left, and maybe even a center. Juice Scruggs is not having a good year either. But I think the first player that the Houston Texans should have on their list in potential trade targets, Joel Bitonio, left guard from the Cleveland Browns. Now, the first question we have to ask, do the Cleveland Browns want to continue making deals with the Houston Texans? Because it seems like every time they do, the Texans come out on top. But Bitonio is a underrated guard. Some call him one of the best left guards in the NFL. Fantastic in the pass. Very good in the running game. One of the best pulling guards in this league. He's an 11-year veteran, has spent all 11 years with the Cleveland Browns. He stands at 6'4", 320 pounds. He's 33 years of age, a six-time Pro Bowler in 2021, 2022, was first team All-Pro. The 3 years prior to that, 18, 19, 20, second team All-Pro. Now, I wonder what type of draft capital Joel could cost you. If it's a fourth-round pick, if it's a fifth-round pick, then I'm all for it. If it does cost you a little bit more, I would understand why you would. Because when you have a quarterback like C.J. Stroud, you want to do everything in your power to protect him. Now, with Joel, I think he immediately bolsters this Houston Texan offensive line. If you go to PFF, overall, a 66.3. Now, the entire Cleveland Browns team is having a down year. Pass blocking-wise, 64.4. Run blocking-wise, 66.9. Great. This is night and day different than when Kenyon Green and whatever the hell you have been getting that left guard. You also like the veteran aspect. He's been in the league 11 years, been regarded as one of the best in the NFL. Like I mentioned, first team All-Pro. Joel Bitonio could bring an identity to the Houston Texans offensive line, and I think the entire offense could benefit off of a player like Joel. If I'm Nick Caserio, man, I'm trying to get this done. Like I said, guys, we only have 24 hours, but I think this would be a perfect candidate. You also look at his history in terms of, can he be on the field? Yes, he can. Has played all 9 games this year, 15 last year, 17 games, 16, 16. You can rely on Joel to be there on Sundays. I would have done this deal yesterday. Another name that I think the Houston Texans should be looking at, and this is where we give a shout out to Dr. Barrett. Shout out to the group chat, man. They are swarming every single day, 24 hours, and Dr. Barrett, man, does a great job with AD doing the Twitter spaces. Make sure, if you are not on Twitter/X listening to these spaces, make sure you guys are tapping in, man. Great knowledge, and these conversations, they can go anyway. With that being said, Dylan Parham is a right guard from the Las Vegas Raiders. However, played left guard in his first year. He is very young. This is his third year in the NFL and is playing very well. In terms of PFF, his overall grade, 76.4. pass blocking grade 71.2, run blocking grade 74.3. He's only allowed 2 sacks this season. Check this out, 0 penalties have been called against him. He leads the league in that sense. Dylan Parham is still very young, 25 years old. Now, I'm not sure how much money the Houston Texans currently have right now, but I think they could afford it. With Dylan Parham, I wonder where he would fit. I mean, obviously, the hole is at left guard, but he's been pretty good at right guard this season. I wonder if not only do the Houston Texans make a move for a lineman, but they switch up the entire offensive line. I think the only consistent piece you were going to have is Laramie Tunsil at left tackle and Juice Scruggs at center, barring any trade. But I think the other three positions could be changing. But Dylan Parham, I think, would fit this Houston Texan offensive line, would immediately make it better. He's nasty, and I think this is a potential, future piece for the Houston Texans. Like I just mentioned, only 25 years of age in his 3rd season. There could be a possibility of a Dylan Parham potentially in the long-term eyes of the Houston Texans. But this is a move that I wonder if general manager Nick Caserio wants to make. He played a full 17-game season in his rookie year, a full 17-game season last year, and so far has played in 7 games, started 6 of them. We know the Las Vegas Raiders are just a horrible team also. Could GM Nick Caserio take advantage of it? We'll have to see, but I would like this move for the Houston Texans. Now, the third and final guy we're going to talk about, and I think this could be a realistic option, is Nate Davis from the Chicago Bears. Like, he's fallen out of rotation, has dealt with some injuries the past couple of seasons, has played in 5 games, started 2. If you remember a couple of years ago, we were talking about Nate Davis as a potential signing in free agency, a very good right guard for the Tennessee Titans for a few years, gets a contract done with Chicago, and unfortunately it has not worked out. Last season played in 11 games, started 11 games. In 2022 played in 12, started in 12. In 21 played in 14, started in 14. His PFF numbers this year, they're not going to jump off the page that I'm getting for you right now. A 53.6% overall grade in pass blocking, a 69.2 in run blocking, a 53.7. Like I mentioned, he's played in 5 games, started 2, 1 sack allowed, 3 penalties called against him. You go back a couple of years, you go back to his final season in Tennessee. This is why I wanted him. An overall 70 grade at 66.8 in pass blocking, a 69.8 in run blocking. He was, one of the best available young guards in the market. Has not worked out in Chicago. Was a healthy scratch this week. This might be the cheapest option for the Houston Texans, and he is primarily a right guard. But with the absence of Kendrick Green playing bad as well, Jared Patterson, you don't know what's going to happen to him. Is he still in concussion protocol? Maybe you do potentially put Nate Davis at left guard. But I think this is a cheap option, a realistic option for the Houston Texans. And hey, he's going to go against his former team, Tennessee, twice this season. So maybe that's an extra added motivation. But out of these 3 guys, Joe Bitonio, Nate Davis, Dylan Parham, I think the more realistic is Nate. Obviously, the big name, the one that should excite everyone, Joe Bitonio. Regardless, the Houston Texans need to make a move. I remember what DeMeco Ryans said in the beginning of the season to the rookies. We're not waiting for you. And man, that needs to be said now louder more than ever. We are not waiting for you. We need to make a move. We need to beef up this offensive line now before CJ Stroud gets hurt. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, if you have anyone else who we should be taking a look at, drop it in the comments down below. For more Houston Texans content, you guys know what to do. Feel free to come back and follow me for more. This episode is being brought to you and powered by BetUS, a 150% bonus on your first sign up to $2,000 on your second and third, a 125% bonus. Promo code YouTube50, ladies and gentlemen. BetUS, quick 24-hour payouts, 24-hour customer service where the game begins. Y'all have a very blessed day.